This video is going to talk about the Elliott wave capabilities in motive wave, and what I'm going to show you is only available in the Ultimate Edition of motive wave. First thing you want to do is you want to go to the Help User's Guide. When you click on that, it's going to take you to the User's Guide, but I've already taken us to the section in the User's Guide number 6, which talks about the different scanner capabilities in motive wave. You have the Elliott wave, you have the Gartley, and you have study conditions in the scanner. This is going to talk about the Elliott wave. So the user guide shows you how to go about doing it. It doesn't talk about anything regarding Elliott wave theory, nor will I, because I'm not an Elliott wave trader, and I'm by no means knowledgeable on how Elliott wave patterns are constructed. But I'm going to show you how to do it in motive wave. Here's an example of a motive wave study that's broken down. So you can see from the A impulse wave, it's broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 automatically. And then the B backwards wave is broken down into A, B, C. The next motive wave into 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're on our way up on 5. This is a chart of the Russell 2000. We're on our way up on 5 to finish this very long C leg. So how did we get this? First of all, I started with just a primary analysis of the Elliott wave. So this is an Elliott wave chart with some Ichimoku. Let me get rid of the Ichimoku here and just go to a basic template. Get rid of the RSI bars. Going to get rid of the components on the side. So this is just your basic chart. But because I've already got some drawings on this one, and I'm just hiding them with this little icon here, I'm going to open up a new analysis on my Russell 2000 tab. And the way you do that is you go File, New. I really don't use the drop-down menus, and I encourage you to use icons in your toolbar. So I'm clicking on this one, which is a new analysis, and I'm going to call it E-Waves, because I've already got one called Elliott. And I'm going to say empty. I don't want it based on this chart, which has got its previous drawings on it. And I'm going to say OK. So now I have a basic chart, goes back to December of last year. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take a look at something a little bit bigger. I'm going to look at about 10 years. Now I'm going to go into View, Auto Analyze, which was the F6 function key also. And I can analyze over periods of weeks or days. I'm going to choose weeks. No start date. I'm going to use all available data that I have accessible to me from the IWM with my data that I'm getting from, in my case, TD Ameritrade. And I'm going to decompose to no levels. It still did decompose to one. Did decompose one level. So it's found for me this first impulse wave here, labeled 1, and then broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here's this wave number 1. Now wave number 2 was broken down into A, B, and C. Now wave number 3 is broken down into impulse 1, pull back 2, major wave 3, 3 always being your largest wave in a 5 Elliott wave pattern, pull back to 4, and now you can see that it's finishing wave 5, the last part of this big wave from 2 to 3. So if we were an Elliott wave trader, we could trade between 4 and 5. Most Elliott wave traders, I think, trade the big one, the third. So they're looking for number 1 and number 2 to be completed, and then they want to trade the third one because it's the most reliable, I think. Again, I'm not giving any instruction on Elliott wave. As you move your cursor over the lines, it tells you what it is, that this is an impulse wave. Between March 8th of 2009 and February 15th of 2015. This is another wave. So you can take a look at the waves. So once we get to this high right here, around 120 on the IWM, we could expect to be going into greater wave 4, and this will be broken down into an A, B, C pattern. We can do some studies on the waves by right-clicking on a wave, and we can decompose any of these subwaves. We can instruct it to trade wave 4 because we're on wave 4, and then it will set up trading patterns for you. We can analyze. We can look at the degrees. We can hide waves. We can go into our preferences. We can do a ratio analysis. So if we want a ratio 3 versus 1, this will show us wave 3 to wave 1. This would have been your 0%, 61.8, 78. So you can see that wave 4 was a pullback to 78.6% of the ratio of 3 to 1. And you can do other type of wave ratio analyses too under your ratio analysis. You can do a time analysis. How long did it take to complete 3 versus 1? And here you can look at your time analysis at the top. You can show the fourth wave range, which is going to be here to here. This is your fourth wave right there. So this would be 0 and this would be 100%. So there's a number of things you can do by right-clicking on any one of your primary waves. And you've also got your properties where you can set various defaults, what ratios you want to automatically be placed on the charts as the Elliott waves move along. So I'm going to show you now a second way to do studies on your whole watch list. And here we go into the Scan tab. And if you don't have a Scan tab created, you can create one. If you're in the Ultimate Edition, just go click on the plus here and say you want to create a Scan tab. And you know, this is a useful format right here. So let's call it Scan 2 because I've already got one. That's a scan tab right up here. So Scan 2 is going to take this layout. This is going to be by default a chart, and this is going to be my scan results. And I'm going to choose a scan. I'm going to say a new scan. The scan I want to is my Elliott scan. I'm going to do an Elliott wave scan, or I could do a Gartley scan, or a study. I'm going to do an Elliott. And I'm going to base it on my watch list called My Stocks. Or I could take the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, any one of the default watch lists that come with Motive Wave. I'm going to say OK. Next, specify the bar sizes. I'm going to do bar sizes on a daily. Next, select your scanning criteria below. So I'm going to scan for wave 2, again because a lot of people like to trade wave 3. So I'm going to scan looking for waves 2. Any charts that are currently completed wave 2 and use all the available data. And I'm not going to decompose all, just decompose to one level. Finish. Now I'm going to start my scan, and it's going to scan through my watch list. So it's finding wave 2 patterns in my watch list, and it's found Athena, and it's given it 3 green dots. So it's pretty confident that Athena is currently completed a wave 2. And if I click on Athena, then down below, and I can move this up here, I've got my Athena chart. And you can see that we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an A, B, C, and it's completed wave 2, nearly completed wave 2, and then it's going to start quite a long pattern down for a wave 3. And it's pretty confident that based on this history here, that's what's coming next. Now, a 1 yellow dot on Monster is, less confidence. Let me go down to one more and show you Cree. Let's compress this a little bit, get more data. So what it's found in Cree is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this first wave, and then an A, B, C, almost a completion on the second wave. So Cree could come down to about $42, and then is going to start a fairly long run up, which would be a tradable wave 3. So I can put an alert here. I can create an alert so that when it gets down to 4180, in fact, I'll give myself a little bit of notice, and I'll see when it gets down to 42.5, I'm going to look at my Elliott chart and start considering putting on orders at a bounce of around 42 and start trading wave 3. So this are the things you can do with the Elliott wave analysis in Motive Wave, extremely powerful. If you have the analysis edition, check and see if you can upgrade to the Elliott wave module, or you may have to go to the Ultimate Edition, but it's extremely worthwhile. Very, very powerful Elliott wave drawing capabilities. What you've seen is all the automatic stuff. I haven't shown you that you can draw your Elliott waves manually. So let's just go into any one of my charts here. Let's go into any chart at all. I can draw a manual Elliott wave. I can go in here and say, my Elliott wave here? No, it's not. But I can draw an Elliott wave manually. That would be here, Elliott wave. Auto Elliott wave is where you highlight a pattern and it will show you Elliott waves in the area that you've highlighted. The other tool you have is Elliott wave impulse. And this is where you can just draw your own Elliott waves. All right. So, but I'm just playing around here. I'm just fooling around, not showing you how to properly draw Elliott waves manually. But if you know a lot of Elliott wave theory, there's your manual tool. So have fun with Elliott waves in Motive Wave. If you have any questions, I'll attempt to answer them. Just ask questions in the boxes below.